It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hey, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hey, Heather, how's it going?
I feel like I've lost my mind.
You have not been doing very well the past few weeks.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
So
You're right. It's just anytime there's something new and different, like we have a conference coming up for this client that I've been working with for a few months now, that we kind of came in after the conference started or after everything with the conference started. So it's kind of like I just don't know what to expect. I've never done this conference before. And so that gives me really high anxiety.
Yeah.
So, and especially when there's stuff that I have to deliver, I'm just like, I'm not really sure,
Yes. But yeah, and unfamiliar territory, like new stuff is definitely, well, it's scary.
So I think in 3 weeks, because this is happening in 2 weeks, I think in 3 weeks, I'll be like, okay, I'm good. Good.
Well, you don't sound congested at least.
No, the cough is mostly gone away.
Yay. Well,
that's every now and again, I'm like,
we're trying to be positive.
Yeah, for sure. Listen,
positive energy.
The only thing that I know is that this meeting will happen and that it's going to happen. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see,
yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I almost said like death and taxes. I think that's
basically
taxes are in my brain because I just got off the phone with our tax person, which, what is it? September, October, and we're still wrapping up our taxes for 2021.
I'm looking forward to taxes for I am the kind of person get it done right away. I just need to get it done right away. So I need to figure out somebody to do taxes because this is the first year I've had a good amount of money coming in from. So I need to figure, and I'm going to have to pay a good amount of money. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck, so to speak.
Yes. Well, I will say, especially when you're working for yourself from personal experience, it's definitely good to hire a professional and somebody you can trust. And because in the past, for a few years, I tried to do it myself, via TurboTax, me and Jerry's taxes. And even with TurboTax, it was a nightmare because some of the questions you're like, I don't know. Yeah. Is that a yes or no? And what exactly does that mean? So, yeah. And that's today's topic on Takesies Backsies on your kid.
Takesies Backsies. Yeah.
Takesies Backsies. Luke is coming back. We thought we were empty nesters, but maybe not so much.
Joke's on you.
Exactly. Ha ha.
So tell us a little bit more about that. Why is that? Why is he Takesies Backsies?
Well, okay. So the tax professional was on the phone with me because she was like, wait a minute. I think it looks like he might have claimed himself last year. And I was like, well, yeah, he did. She's like, well, I think he might have still been considered a dependent. And I'm like, really? But he was paid. He was in the dorm and in school, and the 529 that his grandfather created for him paid for the dorm, which paid for his food and his lodging. Granted, he was with us till about August, but he did have a job. So he did pay for his own gas. And so that's why I said, well, go ahead and claim yourself. Well, then that means I can't claim him as a dependent. So she didn't realize that. So then she was trying to explain to me all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. But I was like, but it's, he's moving back in. And honestly, we've kind of helped support him, even though he hasn't been in the house a lot. And, well, I mean, basically, he has his job now, and he's just not making enough money.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have, because of the anxiety issues that he has, it's really hard for him to go out and try and do something else. It's just the anxiety, we talked in I think it was our last episode about stress buckets. He gets stressed out super easily and anxious super easily. So it becomes overwhelming. And then he's just, he's, what's the word? He just can't move. He's immobilized. He can't move.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes into these big rages and blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out that, again, I've had a suspicion that his epilepsy medicine has been part of his moodiness. And I think I mentioned that, I've been trying to get him to the primary, to get a referral, to take him somewhere else, to get a second opinion. So that's happening, which reminds me, I've got to contact the primary to be like, where's my referral? You said you were sending one. Because, nothing ever goes smoothly. Yeah. So, anyway, it looks like more than likely we're going to have to change his medication is what I'm thinking. And if we have to do that, he's not going to be able to drive for 6 months. And it won't be good for him to live alone, because God forbid the medication isn't as effective at controlling his seizures. And he has a seizure, he's by himself, that can be dangerous. So, so he's got to move back home. And he's actually been home pretty much the last few weeks and seems to be doing better, which makes me think, again, even if the new medication helps him be more stable and less anxious and less ragey, I still feel like the years on this medication and dealing with the anxiety and the epilepsy and all that has kind of set him back a little bit, which is okay. But that's what he said to me, was that he kind of feels like he's taking a step back. But I told him, no, I think that, I understand why you feel that way, but, and I had to deal with those feelings myself. I thought, wee, bird going out of the nest, goodbye, bird, fly, and, and it was kind of like flippy, 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 flump, So, so he, I told him that I think, look, we just need to look at this as a time of healing, and he'll be that much better. And I'm sure that something good will come up when he's ready to try and fly again. And he's healthier and more balanced.
And sometimes you just have to take a step back to take a step forward, right? It's not like he's 40 living, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, if you you can't prepare always for big life events, I told Brad that if he gets deployed, I'm trucking my butt back to Tallahassee, I'm not, no, don't wish my husband to be deployed.
I know. That would be the bad side.
But yeah, I would 100%, because I have a support team.
Yeah.
And does that make me a failure? No, it just means that I know I can't do this alone.
Well, that's a good way of thinking about it too. It's just like, sometimes there are circumstances out of your control. Like, it's not his fault he's epileptic. It's not his fault he's dealing with anxiety, most likely as a result of the epilepsy, and medications and all that. So it's not his fault. But of course I need to be careful when I communicate that to him also, because then, he can have a tendency to go into the woe is me world, why me, why do I have this, and that spirals down and he gets, depressed and upset and angry. So I can't really say, well, it's not your fault, but I can say a lot of people have stuff going on. And sometimes, like you said, things out of your control, and you just got to take a step back in order to, move forward again. So tips on, I have spoken to a few of my girlfriends who have kids around his age. He's 19, in case people don't know. Excuse me. And they've said, oh yeah, even some of them, their kids are still living at home, and not necessarily even going to school, and just working part-time jobs and just trying to get their act together. Again, we had the incidents of COVID, which kind of set everybody back a little bit as well. And they've said, oh yeah, we still send our kids some money. We're still, paying their car insurance. We're still, so don't be so hard on yourself when you're giving him money. That, because part of me feels like I'm enabling him.
Yeah. But my parents did a gradual release of responsibility. And so it was, first I did, my car was paid for, or, it was being paid for. So, but I paid for my housing and all those bills that come with housing. Then it was the next thing was like my cell phone. They were, like they kicked me off. And then it was like my my car insurance to where like eventually I was then kicked off of health insurance, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then it was like fly little birdie fly. And I think I was like 25 and yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of my plan originally was, I was hoping he was going to go to school. And so we had the money for him to stay in the dorm. Thank goodness for my father. And so I thought, well, yeah, dorm's great because, there's a cafeteria in the bottom of the dorm. Everything's taken care of. You don't have to worry about bills. All you got to worry about is going to school. And you don't even have to have a job if you don't want to. Well, that just didn't work out. School wasn't for him. Again, the anxiety. I mean, it was so bad. I had to talk him. He'd have an exam and he'd be crying and in hysterics before taking an exam. And I'd have to be like, okay, get in the shower. Now, after you get out of the shower, get a glass of milk, go down to the cap. I'd have to like talk him out of the anxiety. And it was just, it was awful.
Yeah.
So again, just school, not for him right now. But that's what I thought. I thought the dorm would be a nice step. Well, okay, dorm didn't work out. School didn't work out. So then find this great duplex that our friend owns. And he was charging us, a minimal amount and just one amount, including utilities. So again, Luke didn't have to worry about utilities and blah, blah, blah. Just the only responsibility he had was paying his rent. And he had to mow the lawn. It has a little, fenced in backyard. He had to take care of the lawn. And he just could, not quite making enough money. But then I would say, well, you're only working part-time most of the year with this job. So why not work do DoorDash or whatever? Well, he admitted to me, he's like, I'm afraid with DoorDash, I'm afraid of guns. Like he was afraid of getting robbed being a delivery person, which I'm like, okay, I can kind of get that. But then I was like, well, what about Rover? You could pet sit for people. And I guess he's afraid of people. He's afraid. So
I can understand that.
But praise the Lord, actually, and when he asked me for money for Chick-fil-A for the umpteenth time this morning, I said to myself, please, God, I really need help trying to find a way for him to earn some extra money because I want him to be able to be more responsible for himself, even if he is moving back in. I want him to pay for his own darn Chick-fil-A and his own gas and all that stuff. And I can't afford to keep doing this,
Yeah. I lived off of a box of rice for like a month.
Right. And that's the thing. But the problem is if he doesn't eat, he gets this hangry thing and then he turns into a hot mess. So I'm like stuck between a rock and a hard place. I could say, no, I'm not buying you Chick-fil-A. And then he doesn't eat Chick-fil-A. And then I say, well, there's pasta. And he's like, well, I don't want pasta. And then I'm like, just eat the pasta. No, I don't want it. And then he gets hangry and then he downward spirals and turns into this raging lunatic. I mean, seriously, like screaming and yelling, just awful. Again, which I think is because of his medication, which we're going to find out. Anyway, so as I was praying to God for a way, I go to my gym and I go to my little step aerobics class that I love to go to. And lo and behold, right behind me is my neighbor. I was like, hey. And I started talking to her and she was like, oh, well, how's Jerry? How's Luke? And I was like, they're good. She's like, well, hey, do you think Luke would mow my lawn? I was like, hell yeah, Luke would mow your lawn.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sweet. So I put them in touch with each other and hoping and praying that'll be the perfect gig for him because he knows her. He's comfortable with her. She's comfortable with him. And she needs little help like that, trimming stuff and maybe edging the grass. And he can do all of that and just walk over and do it and get paid cash. And that would be perfect. That would be perfect Chick-fil-A money,
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm hoping and praying that was, God saying, okay, I got you. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. So yeah. So that's the Takesies. How do you say it? Takesies Backsies?
Takesies Backsies. I don't know. I just
made it up. Hey, I like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least I feel like you're kind of manifesting some things. I don't know, I think we all have different beliefs. And so, manifestation is a thing, evidently.
Well, I started watching that movie, The Secret. Have you watched that?
No.
Okay. Well, some people say it's total BS, but it's about kind of about manifesting. Like it's like, the whole where you put out into the universe that what you want, like I want to make a lot of money and I want to be successful in XYZ. I mean, obviously you need to be a little more specific, but than just successful. So I want to be a successful voiceover artist and a successful podcaster. There you go. I said it. And make lots of money doing both of those things. There you go. Putting it out into the universe.
You have to believe it. You have to believe it and do it.
Yeah. Yes. Well, there is another book that I've read most of that I need to finish is along the same lines. And it says be, do, have. So if you act like a person who is successful and do the things that a person is successful would do. And like for me, like make sure you do all of your auditions every day. You're not going to get gigs if you don't audition for them. Then eventually you will have the jobs because you've done all the auditions.
Yes. And you'll have more than what you need.
And marketing.
And you can say, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, then I'll just send money to my friends.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Top of the list, Heather.
Yes. I actually manifested something myself recently, which is crazy. So let me tell you. So we were supposed to go to the Pearl Jam concert, remember, in Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
And that didn't work out. Canceled literally the Monday before, or the Sunday before, and it was Tuesday. Like Sunday night, I can't help you out. Sorry. Tuesday concert. So we had to like cancel, and then they were coming to Colorado 2 days later. And then, so it was like, at first Brad and I went through like all the emotions, like upset, sad, angry, annoyed. And then we're like, okay, we're going to turn this around. I was like, we're going to get good tickets. We got good tickets from like somebody, and Brad's like, everything is in my heart is telling me like, I should do this, but like a reasonable person is probably a little bit more cautious and thinking this is a scam. And so, thank goodness to this person who literally sold the tickets at cost versus in Colorado, you can jack up the prices.
Yeah. You can do that in Florida too.
Yeah. Some states you can't, like Oklahoma, you can't do that. You have to sell them for what you get. I mean, I guess you could scalp them out front and whatever.
Yeah.
But, so the seats that we got, like, were selling for like $600 a piece, like at that time. So they're like, this guy, man, I was like, you need to contact him. You need to tell him like you just whatever. Like, I was like, what can we give you for thanking you so much. And so then Brad's like, well, what song do you want to, like, what will make tonight the best night? And I was like, well, there's a few, but number one top on the list is, Just Breathe, which is that song that like has meaning to me about my dad. And then Last Kiss is another one. And so they like one of the first like 5 songs was Just Breathe. And like, I was like, my night is made. And here's like the more astonishing thing is that song. And so I knew it was my dad. I was like, this is my dad coming through to me right now. Or he made it happen, right? Through other things. So the last time they played that song was in 2016 on tour.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So it was a long shot.
Yeah. But so the guy sold you the tickets at cost though?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we got like super good, just above floor.
Awesome.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so it was really great.
Okay. I was just trying to make that clear because I was like, wait, did I miss something? I've had the feeling that was what happened, but
yeah.
That is so cool though, too, about your dad and everything. That's awesome. I love that. See, it was meant to be, and you didn't have to go all the way to Oklahoma.
It was, I know. So it all worked out. And manifestation. But typically I'm like, I think there's some like doubt always in my mind. Like I try to manifest something and I'm like, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't happen.
You said, you got to believe it. You've got to really like feel it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's manifest Lucas getting some good yard work as a side gig and just getting him healthy and happy and balanced is what I really want, that would be so amazing.
Yeah. Let's do it. Man, everybody else
we're
manifests it.
manifesting.
But he has to manifest it for himself too.
Yes. And he's working on that too. We've had a lot of conversations, which have been good. So yeah, we're working on it. And we can manifest being rich off of our I Can't Mom Today merch by telling people to buy some.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I saw, somebody saw, I went on a plane and I had my shirt on and somebody's like, I need your shirt. I was like, we have a podcast.
Yes. Check out the link. Did you send them the link or write it down?
Girl, I was trying to wrestle a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
No.
And Baker, no less.
No.
Well, I'm going to put the link in the show notes, but it's at TeePublic. So if you go to teepublic.com and search I Can't Mom Today, you'll find us. But I'll put it in our show notes again, too. Yes. And so that way you can go right to our little store and you get everything from laptop cases,
which I have, which is
masks
great.
To I've actually got my hoodie wrapped around my waist right now.
Yeah, I have the hoodie, t-shirt.
The baseball shirt's really cute. Did you get a baseball shirt?
Mm-hmm,
I like the baseball shirt. I have one of those.
The tote. And
I've gotten the tote.
Laptop case cover, stickers.
Yes, magnets. I have a magnet on my car.
I don't think I have a magnet. I have a sticker on my car.
Oh, you put a sticker on your car? Don't you worry about peeling it off?
On the window.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not bad.
Yeah,
my window's very small.
No. Yeah, I mean, ours isn't big, but the sticker isn't very big. I wish it was bigger.
Yeah.
I'll probably get some to put on the side, actually.
Yeah. I had to get the largest magnet. If you're getting a magnet for your car, get the biggest one because it's not all that big. Yeah, I wish it were a little bigger.
Yeah, but I think you can get I have a coffee cup. We have a coffee cup.
I need to get a coffee cup. Yeah. Although I really have too many coffee cups in my life. So
same, but I was like, you know what? This is a good cause.
That's right. Well, if I get rid of some of the ones that Jerry randomly brings back home from random places where somebody's sitting at their desk going,
we already told you. We already told you what to do with it.
Send it back.
No, just start putting it in people's houses.
Yeah, that's right. Where did this coffee cup come from?
Well, I told you I had a shot glass. I was like, I have no idea where this came from. No idea. Because I used to collect shot glasses. I don't anymore.
Yeah. But, I remember that. I got you one from Italy. Did you get rid of it?
No. I still have it. It's just packed up in a box. Because what am I going to do as a 40-something-year-old with shot glasses everywhere?
I know. It's kind of cheesy.
But whatever. I'll hand them down to Baker when he goes to college or something.
Right.
But yeah, there was one for I think it was some baseball team, but it wasn't the Red Sox or Yankees. It was something it was, you knew the name, but it wasn't something that I would have, why do I have this? Yeah.
Okay. I feel you.
So I gave it, somebody's oh, because I was I posted on Facebook or something like that. Somebody's like, can I have that? I was like, sure.
Yeah. I need to go on that free section that you told me about.
Buy nothing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been selling Baker stuff left and right.
Yeah. Or giving it away.
Yeah. Well, and then some people, some people have requested for me to give them something. And I'm like, yeah, sure. It's on the porch. It just sits out there. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I just block them. I'm like, obviously you didn't want it.
You suck. You never come pick up your free shit.
Yeah. So I was like, you obviously didn't want it enough. It was days. It wasn't one afternoon. Yeah. It was days.
Yeah.
And
that would annoy
reach
me.
out and say, hey, can you do that? Do you want it? And they'd be like, yeah, I still want it. I'll come this afternoon. And then nothing. So then I just block them. I'm like, oh, well, bye.
Never mind. Never mind.
Bye.
Yeah. So while I'm plugging us too, don't forget to please rate the podcast because we still need some more good ratings to counteract the ratings bomb of a couple of years ago. And join our Facebook group if you haven't already.
Yeah, do it.
That's all my shameless plugs.
All right, we'll see you. We'll see you on the other side.
Yes, wish me luck. Luke will be officially here probably soon. So, Takesies Backsies.
No Takesies Backsies. No vacancy.
All right.
All right. Until next time. Bye.